What's going on, guys? My name is Trevor. Welcome back to the channel. Fear Street Prom Queen is one of my most anticipated movies of the summer. It dropped on Netflix today. Today I'm sharing with you guys my non-spoiler thoughts on the movie. Let me know your non-spoiler thoughts down below in the comment section. And what do you make of the 4 Fear Street movies that we have gotten so far? My expectations were through the roof for this movie. One of my top 5 most anticipated movies of the summer. I love the original trilogy so much. I've been covering Fear Street Prom Queen on the channel for quite some time, so my expectations might have been a little bit too high. With that said, let's hop into the positives. And the biggest compliment I can give this film is these kills are creative and they are gutsy and they are very just gory and in your face, and that's what you expect with Fear Street movies. The original Fear Street have some very creative kills, one in particular with the meat grinder. This one, they get a little bit crazy, from people's faces getting literally slashed in half to people being beheaded to literally someone getting like one of those paper cutters. It was pretty gnarly, and that's what you expect with Fear Street movies. These kills were very, very creative. Some were a little cliche, but I think they did a really good job at making these kills so creative, so different, so dark, so just in your face that you're like, wow, this is definitely a Fear Street movie. Definitely had that vibe. It captures the 80s vibe so well. I love the 80s vibe. Sometimes I wish I could go back to the future and just go live in the 1980s for a while, because everything seemed so fun then, besides on this prom night, because a lot of people died. But nonetheless, it is such a fun 80s vibe with some really gnarly kills in there. And these characters, for the most part, a lot of them aren't fleshed out too much, but our main character here, you can really get behind Laurie Granger. You can get behind her little bit of lore and backstory they give her. She's definitely a protagonist you can root for. And honestly, one of my favorite things about this movie is the runtime. It's an hour and a half. At times, it might feel a little bit rushed, but it really just gets in, gets out, kind of doesn't overstay its welcome at all. It has some gnarly kills in there. It's overall just kind of a fun little 1980s time with some good humor. From there, let's go on to the negatives, and I have to say, I'm a bit disappointed with this one because I love the first original Fear Street movie so much. I think that was my downfall going into this, because that was a trilogy. You got time to grow, love, and know these characters. This one, we had 90 minutes to grow and dislike a lot of characters, like a couple other characters, and I think that's kind of only downfall with this film. That is a standalone movie, that it didn't get enough time to kind of flesh this out, because honestly it did feel rushed, especially in the beginning. They're giving Laurie Granger backstory and this kind of exposition dump for the first 5 to 10 minutes where you're kind of like, I understand what you're doing here, but like, I wish we got a little bit more. I wish we opened with the scene of what happened that night that I continue to talk about throughout this. I wish they handled things just a little bit differently, maybe even added 15 minutes to the runtime, because you're rushing into this whole thing and the prom night's like right basically halfway through the movie, and it kind of just jumps right into everything. And it was very cliche as to who the killers were going to be. It was probably 3 minutes into the movie where I kind of put 2 and 2 together, while I figured out, like, I have a really strong feeling that this person will be the killer. So it was definitely just kind of a little bit cliche, a little bit rushed in a movie I was so excited for, probably too excited for, just let me down a little bit. Not saying it's a bad movie, because it's far from it, but it's just not one of those movies that's going to stick with me. A movie that I'm going to go like, I need to go back and rewatch that right now, because the original Fear Street movies is one that I want to go back and rewatch quite often, especially around the Halloween time. But for this one, definitely fell through the cracks a little bit of a movie I was really, really excited for. Has some good kills in there, has some good moments in there, but overall, there's prom night is like, it's gory, it's bloody, has those creative kills where you kind of laugh and going like, whoa, that was really well done. But then when you find out who the killer is, you're kind of rolling your eyes, and it has about 15 minutes more where you're really kind of rolling your eyes. And it was just kind of following the cliche route to where I knew almost everything that was going to happen, which is fine. I just wanted a little bit more mystery, surprise in there. Last compliment I'll give the movie is they did mention 1978, my favorite Fear Street movie, part 2. I thought that was a nice little tidbit, but at the end of the day, this is probably my least favorite Fear Street movie. It's a solid 3 out of 5, nothing more, nothing less. Kind of barely a 3 out of 5, just because we didn't really get enough time to get to know these characters and really get this story fleshed out. I still love Fear Street. I'm still going to cover the other 2 movies they're dropping because I'm excited for them. Just want a little bit more from this one. That's my non-spoiler thoughts on Fear Street Prom Queen. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. What do you make of it? Hit the like button, subscribe by notification bell. Come back tomorrow because we're going to have a Fear Street ranking, a couple of Fear Street content coming this weekend. Thank you guys for watching and for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.